aboard. Maybe he was confused, or certainly a lot of people are traumatized and trying to process what happened to them. But when I checked back in with him, he said there were no seatbelts. Back to you.
All right, Michelle Lee, thank you so much. Probably just, talking about hunkering down in anticipation of that crash.
Something. Yeah, interesting. Joining us now with some perspective is Jim Vucinovich, who is a derailment expert, a longtime Seattle litigator with more than 30 years of litigating these kinds of things. You see derailments all the time. You've read lots of reports. You've seen the scene there. You've seen the aerials with all of those cars off the tracks, and you've heard some of now the eyewitness accounts. What do you make of it all?
Well, again, I mean, I think it's important that you keep perspective on this and not try to say it's this or that.
Right.
Because of the importance of gathering all the facts before you determine what the ultimate cause is. But from what I've seen so far, which is the engine, the lead unit, which apparently was a brand new engine, left the tracks on or near a curve. And then it pulled the rest of the train. So this, Amtrak operates what's called a train set. So all of these cars are then are attached together by rigid drawbars, iron drawbars. But in a passenger car, it's even much more of a rigid connection than it would be in a freight service thing. But once that lead locomotive goes off, which is powering and pulling the thing down the tracks, then all those other lighter passenger cars are going to follow with it. And most of that train then ended up derailing, turning over, dropping down on the highway. Incredible.
Jim, what are the various causes that contribute to crashes like this?
Well, and what jumps out to me, again, I want to be preliminary here because we've got experts that are going to be on scene to determine the ultimate cause, but you're going into a curve, and so speed is a major factor. Locomotives like this are equipped with data recorders that will say exactly how that train is operating.
Black boxes, basically.
It's a black box, correct. It will indicate speed, it will indicate how the train was braked, and there are two braking systems on trains like these. One is from the head end itself, that's called an independent brake, and then the air system, which I think one of your reporters talked about, that goes throughout the rest of the train. But the brakes in this situation, once it leaves the track, cannot set up effectively or fast enough in order to slow its momentum. I mean, and what you see is the result of that.
As a litigator who deals with not just the circumstances of a derailment, but really working with the victims in something like this, what are you looking at?
Well, I mean, your heart goes out to the everybody that's involved. I mean, from the people that were on that train, unsuspecting as they were, to the crew that's handling that to their best of the ability, and now we're all having to respond to it. And I just learned from the other reporter there that there may be more fatalities than we already have been told about, which just makes this a deeper, more heart-rendering tragedy. So you want to support those people that are victimized by this and help them get better.
Yeah. Jim, does it surprise you that this happened on the inaugural run of this train?
I think that's a huge mystery, which hopefully we're going to solve here pretty soon. And again, it's so unfortunate, so ironic, because everyone had to be proud and expectant to be on a train like this, and this is the last thing that you'd expect happen. So again, the whys and wherefores, which the NTSB, as well as the underlying road here, which I believe is the Burlington Northern Santa Fe BNSF, are all going to be on scene to determine its cause.
We really appreciate your time, the time you've spent with us today to give us some perspective on this. You've talked with lots of victims. You've seen lots of these kinds of derailments. Not this kind exactly, but derailments in general. So Jim Vucinovich, thank you very much for being with us today.
Thanks,
appreciate
Jim.
it. So this is what we are seeing on social media. If you want to continue to get up to date with the coverage, how it happened in terms of what we know, the latest numbers, it's all online for you. And we'll continue to update the information at king5.com.
And we'll be right back.